6 hours of TV a day. We're already interfacing with computers. We're already being sucked into this system. I've seen studies showing the average vocabulary of a high school student has been reduced by more than 30%. They can't even communicate with each other. What did George Orwell talk about? He talked about INGSOC, English socialism, where they would reduce the language down to a point where you couldn't even communicate with somebody. You couldn't even use the words to actually be able to even talk to them. And that's what they're planning. You read Ray Kurzweil and all these top futurists, Nobel Prize winners. They openly talk about, we will have world government by 2025, and we will exterminate the majority of the population. You read what Bill Joy in the 1999 April issue of Wired magazine, co-owner of Sun Microsystems, a multi-billionaire. He wrote an article saying why the future doesn't need us. You can pull it up. And he said, I went to a consortium meeting of the 200 richest IT owners, and the main discussion at the meeting was not about new technology coming out. The biggest part of the meeting was deciding, do we give people sports and entertainment? And do we just give people something to do because of robotics and technology? The elite doesn't need us anymore for manual labor. Or do we kill everyone? And look, people can say, well, that's negative. That's scary. Look, you don't choose your reality. Reality is what it is. You could take some guy and put him on PCP and put him up on a 50-story building, and he thinks he's a skylark about to go flying across the city. He's going to fall off that building and splash on the bottom. He's going to die. Perception is not reality. Reality is we've been fed a false delusion. But you had Bill Joy, the co-owner of Sun Microsystems, say he doesn't think this is a very good idea to get rid of all of us, and openly warn you. Took a lot of courage. But then you had his partner, the other owner of Sun Microsystems, that same year on PBS, on Lair NewsHour, say, my vision is everyone with a microchip being tracked by the government. My vision is computers controlling our everyday lives. My vision is cars driving themselves. My vision is everything you do being tracked, to the point of we can predict the future off of tracking your mass movements. And everything he said 11 years ago is now happening. I was in my hotel room last night and saw a Ford commercial for a car that parks itself. Just like children now don't know how to do reading, writing, and arithmetic on average. They don't know how to do a basic equation with pencil and paper because they needed a calculator to do it. All of those tools are good, but at the end of the day, they dehumanize us. We are being killed by the largesse. We're being killed by the decadence. We're being killed by how easy everything is, when in truth, our species was developed and went through a process of incredible challenge to be where we are today. So that's why I use the term soft kill weapon. We are psychically being killed. We are emotionally being killed. We are mentally being killed. At every level, we are being anesthetized and drugged by entertainment and the culture to go along with this system. So I'm going to continue here for another 30 minutes or so. Then we're going to take some questions and comments. But, I know tonight I'm getting into a lot of transhumanism and futurist developments. It's just when I challenge any of you to read the top futurist, and these aren't just futurists. These are people who are designing many of the technologies that dominate our lives, and they have huge events with thousands of people that attend, and keynote speakers like William Shatner, and they've all been offered. This is what they say at these meetings. This is all public. This is all open source. Just like I told you, Anwar al-Awlaki, the number 3 guy, now the number 1 guy, they say, in Al-Qaeda, openly works for the Pentagon. That's publicly admitted. And when I get up here and I tell you that the futurist, the transhumanist, Julian Huxley, head of the UN UNESCO program in the 50s, said, we got kind of a bad name under Hitler with eugenics. We better change it to transhumanist. They have these meetings, and this is all they talk about. And I talked to news reporters that have come and interviewed me from major magazines, and they go, yeah, we interview Harvard and Yale professors, and they say the same thing you're saying, but they say it's a good thing that all the public's a bunch of idiots. They don't want to be cyborgs. We're going to be cyborgs, and we're going to blast off into the future, and everybody else is basically going to be removed. And I know this all sounds crazy, but so do cell phones, so do jet airplanes, so do rockets into space. So all of this, we are living in a Buck Rogers age right now, and what we know is only a tiny layer of this overall system. So the stakes are so high, and the people running the system are folks just like us, but they've been offered the entree of eternal life. And again, I'm not saying any of this is real. I'm not saying they can actually do this. The issue is 110% they are saying they're doing this. And so if you want to get inside the mind of a globalist, if you want to know what they're thinking, what they're saying, what they're really doing, what makes them tick, why they want to get rid of 6 billion people down to 500 million, they openly state it. They say, we've got life extension coming online. And then again, this is the suppressed technological level. It's more advanced. And we're not going to give this to the general public. They are profane. They are weak. They are dumb. And they do not deserve this. And we need to set up a planetary dictatorship to carry out orderly one-child policies, forced abortions, Rockefeller Foundation, it's all public, vaccines, tetanus shots that sterilize you. This is all public. Just like Anwar al-Awlaki's an admitted Pentagon terrorist, we've got all the Rockefeller Foundation documents directly linked on their own website. They're proud of how they made the tetanus shot to sterilize you or reduce your fertility. They're proud of the Guatemalan children they shot up with syphilis. They're proud of the black people they shot up with syphilis. They're proud of the 4,000 plus American foster children they radiated to death. All public. But we trust this government. We go along with this government. They tell us we're taking your rights and your liberties to keep you safe from men wearing turbans when it's in the news every day. Oh, Project Shad nerve gassed thousands of U.S. veterans. Many of them died. But the government was doing it to keep us safe. Any of you that wear the uniform and serve this system, you do a lot of good work every day. But those above you, those that run the system, they know full well what they're doing. I mean, I've interviewed the former head of the depleted uranium weapons program, Dr. Doug Rockey, Dr. DU. They knew in the 70s how deadly DU was. Their own Army manuals in the 90s said it was completely devastating and would kill anybody that used it. It would take a few decades to kill them. But now they just serve it out to all the troops and say, no health problems, don't worry about it. They are normalizing this program of extermination and control. They are doing this out in the open. They're admitting, yeah, we ship in the drugs. Yeah, we run the terrorists. Yeah, we stage terror attacks. Yeah, we're poisoning your food and water. And we're sorry, like Hillary Clinton said 2 weeks ago with the syphilis. We're sorry. They're only sorry they got caught. So I'm going to ask you a question right now. Is it negative that I have published and linked to more than 20 Rockefeller Foundation documents where they admit they've weaponized your vaccines to soft kill you and your family? Is it negative to admit something that's already happening, or is it positive to expose these people?
Positive!
If I was to fall off this stage and get a compound fracture and break my leg, would it be positive, like all these faith healer preachers say, to just say my leg's healed? Or would it be positive to actually go get my leg fixed? Okay? Knowing the problem is half the battle. You know, you see that Pentagon propaganda cartoon, but it actually takes an old Special Forces term from World War II with the airborne, that knowing is half the battle. Look, I don't have all the answers, but I'm here to tell you what I've discovered, and you can check it all for yourself. And once you know that all is not well, once you know there's something rotten in the state of Denmark, the corruption is so limitless, I invite you to go discover it yourself. I invite you, if you've got the will and the courage, to go look at it for yourself.